Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Libra in the month of August 2018. Hi, Libra. How are you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well. As you can see, I went ahead and shuffled off camera. I got your main spread there. What I'm going to do now is shuffle for the outcome, and then we'll also have the bottom of the deck as your overall energy. Once all the cards are out, I'll begin the reading. You check the description box below for the timestamp if you want to go ahead and jump ahead to when the reading actually begins. If not, just going to get your outcome now. And once I do, we'll be ready. Outcome for Libra, August 2018. Oh. And again, Libra, I hope everything's going well for you guys. Ooh, 2? Oh, gosh, this is going to be a long one, but I'll take it. Bottom of the deck. 2 cards in your outcome. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and flip the remaining cards. Oh, now I cut my nails, so now I can't grab things. Alright, so you got a lot of cards here, Libra. And for the sake of time, I'm going to try and push through it, but I also want to try and give you guys a good message. Or a clear message, I should say, not a good one. Although we hope for a good message, don't we? Anyway. Where is Libra, please? Please show me where Libra is in August 2018. Here. Very good. All right, Libra. Coming into August, you come in as the Strength card of Leo. So there might be a Leo in your midst who is of significance, but regardless of that, doesn't have to be anyone around you who is. The important thing is the energy. So I think what's going on is you're doing a little bit of recuperation. I feel like you're getting your mojo back, you're getting your energy back, you're getting your head kind of set on straight and turned around in the correct way. Or you're just getting over like a certain trepidation that you had. Some of you, maybe there have been new endeavors that you've been wanting to get into, but you haven't really had a plan, or you haven't felt really confident in your plan. And so this would confirm, like, yeah, you're getting there. You're on your way to feeling as if you can accomplish what you want to accomplish. You can have everything in life that you want to have, Libra. Or you can make a certain turn in your life. You can open up new doors in your life and welcome in new opportunities, welcome in new people, welcome in new experiences, things like that. And in another case, it would just be, this is like a self-development step for some of you where, you know, maybe you've come from a place or you've come from a time in your life where you weren't feeling so assured of yourself, you weren't feeling so confident, you weren't feeling self-love. There is, I get like a feeling of self-love in this, which isn't always the case with the Strength card. The Strength card is usually about meeting adversity head-on and being triumphant over adversity, being triumphant over pitfalls or setbacks in your life. But here I'm feeling like this is also like a self-love. This is like a TLC that you've given to yourself. You've allowed yourself to heal from something, or not allowed yourself, but you've walked yourself through a healing process. You've been very cognizant of trying to get over a certain hurt in your life, hence the Strength card. And the way that you've gone about it is to be more tender and loving and caring towards yourself. TLC, right? You've given yourself a treatment of niceness. Some of you haven't been nice to yourselves in the past, and now you're learning to be nice to yourselves. You're learning to be very loving towards yourselves, okay? And that's beautiful. To come into a reading in August and under the umbrella of Leo season with the Strength card, very good. On the right track. And if you're not there yet, like if you're not in that space of feeling more confident, feeling more loving and open to treating yourself with kindness, being ready to get into new endeavors. If you're not actually there yet, it's because you're still working through this stuff that's above you, this stuff that sort of is in your mind or in the forefront of your mind, okay? Actually, we're going to go to the Five of Swords. So I think what's going on for some of you, Libras, is the Five of Swords energy is something recent. Either it's recently developed or it was a long-standing thing and it's recently wrapping up. So either some of you like have had sort of like a blow up, like this can represent like a blow up, like a little bit of a tiff, a disagreement, a spat, a fallout with people, an argument, right? In other cases, this is like a long, drawn-out thing that has gone on, but the sentiment is the same. The sentiment is, Libra, that you haven't gotten along with people recently, or people haven't gotten along with you, or there's just been some great dissension between a group of people, right? So you've got 3 people on the card, you've got the main guy in the foreground, and you've got these 2 people in the background. And normally the Five of Swords is talking about, you know, a hollow victory, a victory that doesn't really matter in the long scheme of things, in the grand scheme of things, excuse me. It doesn't bode well for the winner because they're losing out on some type of relationship with 2 other people, or 2 people are having to walk away from this person, and this person remains with the 5 swords. So they're remaining with their thoughts. They're remaining with their ruminating thoughts, their plagued negative thoughts, or like, just, you know, sometimes swords aren't things you want to hold on to. Sometimes swords are things that you kind of want to keep rotating, or that you kind of want to, like, come into your life and then sort of pass along. Because as many of us know, thoughts can be very ensnaring. It can trap you. It can stifle you. It can really hold you back if you get into certain cycles of thought. And so I think what happens with this card, again, I'm speaking in a very traditional interpretation of the card, is that one person thinks that they've won, and they sort of drink their own Kool-Aid, and they sort of believe their own hype. They believe their own gospel, that they were right, they were correct, everybody else was wrong, or the way that they did something or said something was the most correct way, it was the most fair, and these people walked away because they're weak, or these people walked away because I beat them in this argument, or I beat them in this whatever you were engaging with, and I don't need them anyway, and we're better off apart than we are together. Like, there's just like this sort of, like, not solemn, but there is like a great element of solitude, like welcoming the solitude. I welcome this energy where I stand on my own, and I'm away from other people, and that's okay. It's what I deserve. It's what I want. It's what's necessary, and it's just sort of, it's a cycle of this person in the foreground, whether it's you or someone else, Libra, that's up for you to decide. But whoever it is, this person is like hyping themselves up and bolstering their own energy on, this is what I needed to do. I don't need those people. They don't need me. We don't need each other. This is just better for everybody. Which, given that human beings are social creatures, we're here to communicate with each other. We're here to make relationships with each other. And sometimes, yes, it's good to end relationships. But when it's from that air of, well, fine, who cares? Like, dismissive, flippant, kind of arrogant. It's not in a healthy way, is basically it. It's not a healthy way to view the fallout of a friendship, the fallout of a relationship, the fallout of a partnership, whatever it is. So again, that's like really the deep, like, well, not the deep, but the base traditional understanding of this card. What I'm getting here is that this is a front. This is what someone is saying. This is a pretense. What I was speaking about just a moment ago was really about like someone like having that as like a core belief, and like they mean it. That's like the traditional meaning. Like I said, didn't I say arrogance or something like that? There is an arrogance with the Five of Swords sometimes. That is a front right now. What I just said, the traditional, that's a front. Someone is pretending, putting on a front, putting on a mask and saying, yes, I'm happy that we aren't friends anymore. I'm happy that we're no longer in a relationship. I'm happy I'm no longer in business with these people, or I'm happy that I'm no longer working on this creative idea or this business idea with this person. It was never going to work out anyway. Like, that is it's a lie to the self, primarily. It's a lie to the self. Secondary, it's a lie to others. It's coming up in conversation. Oh, hey, do you talk to Bill anymore? No, I don't talk to Bill anymore. Bill and I have dissolved our business assets. We are no longer doing this, this, and that, and let's change the subject. Like, someone is putting on a face of, yep, it's over. It's okay. And to a degree, that's true. Like, the arrogance, or excuse me, not the arrogance, the lie is the comfortability in that. The fact of the matter is, yeah, it is over. This person recognizes it. Everybody else who's involved or who knows, they all know it. But the comfortability, like the it's okay, is kind of the lie, or kind of like the mask that this person is wearing. It could be you, Libra, or it could be someone else. I'm not really getting that. But in relation to the Strength card, some of you are still having to deal with this, so it might not be your energy. You might be feeling fabulous, Libra. You might be feeling like, I can take on the world, I can take on any challenge, and you're sort of associated with someone who's had a fallout, and then they're kind of projecting that confident, everything's a-okay energy, and you're like, are you really okay? Are you sure? Because, you know, you might be, you know, a lie detector, a BS detector right now, and you're like, I don't believe that. Or someone is saying that to you, you'll have to fit it in how it fits in. So that's sort of something that might be blocking or sort of holding up this strength energy for some of you, like putting it on a delay, or again, contending with it. If it's not delayed or if it's not blocked, it would be a contending, like, okay, I feel pretty good, but this is still in my area, this is still in my head, this is still in my vicinity, I need to handle this, or you just recognize that it's something that's going on. Right next to it, you've got the Nine of Wands in reverse. So Nine of Wands in reverse is... this guy in the card is a beat-up guy, right? He's the wounded warrior. And someone is that. Martyr? Like, someone's a martyr. Someone is, like, playing victim. Excuse me. Someone is really laying it on thick that they have been shattered. They've been attacked. They've been brutalized. This is getting a little heavy, so apply it as you will to your own storyline. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. But someone is like really making out like they were ambushed. They were just treated so poorly. And it came out of the blue, from their perspective. It came out of the blue. It was like nothing they've ever experienced before. There's a betrayal. There's a feeling of being stabbed in the back or being, you know, thrown to the wolves, sort of thrown under the bus. Issues about lying and deception, or kind of like a shovel game I'm getting. Like pieces were moving, and it was hard to keep track of the details, things like that. And someone is, like I said, not to say that that's not true. I feel that most of that is pretty damn true. That there was someone who was lied to or attacked or in some cases degraded or belittled or whatever. Someone was made to feel some type of way. But what I'm getting is that their reaction to it isn't extravagant. It isn't an exaggeration. It's just more of like, it's a victim. God, I hate to say it. It's like a victim thing. Like, I had no defense. I couldn't defend myself. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't prevent it. I couldn't combat it. I couldn't fight it. Da 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 da. And so their position, or what they're saying, what they're communicating to this situation, to you, to someone else, or whoever this is, or you're doing this to someone else, you're doing this, whoever it is basically saying, like, I had no power. I had no control. I had no input. It was all, I was just meant to take in this onslaught. This attack. Let's say that. This attack. I took on this attack and I had no defense mechanism. I had no way to prevent it. I had no awareness of what was going on. I had nothing. And that is true, but again, it's like very heavy-handed, this discussion. This claim of being a victim is very heavy. I'm not saying this person wasn't a victim. I'm not saying that they didn't experience what they experienced, but it's really affected them. Like, it's really shaken them up. And it's shaken them up so much that it's the reality that, it's like the only reality that they know. I am a victim. It's okay. I don't mean to laugh, but, you know, sometimes the words come in and it's funny to me. But that's what it is. Like, if this person was born yesterday, like, you know, that cliched phrase is, oh, I wasn't born yesterday. As if you can't make a fool out of me, as if I know a thing or two about a thing or two, and I know I have knowledge in life and all that kind of stuff. This person is like, I was born yesterday. I'm a victim. I had, you know, like, they're making it like, this person is an adult, but they're claiming a level of innocence, a level of being naive, or a way of being unsuspecting that you would think they were a child, and that they don't know how to handle what has happened to them. Now, in the case of something really severe, really serious, where like maybe it was a physical thing, I'm not really getting that, but for the sake of the argument, for the sake of this being a general reading, maybe it was. Maybe someone was like attacked, maybe somebody was mugged, maybe somebody had their home broken into and their stuff was vandalized. So nothing happened to them physically, their body, but something happened to their space. Now, in an extreme case like that, that's terrible. I don't mean to demean that person's experience, but the whole recuperation or how to process what happened is sort of in this quote-unquote like immature space. Like, it's just a repeating of the incident and not wanting to move through or move past the incident or try to find a constructive, healthy, healing way to move on. This person is stewing in the event of being attacked, in the event of being the victim. Okay? I hope you understand what I'm saying there. And again, that's above you. What does that mean when I say it's above you? It's in your head. It's in your mind. It's in your consciousness. Or it's actually in your proximity. It's in your vicinity. It's something that you deal with on a daily basis. So this could be, you could be sitting here, Libra, and this could be your partner. Maybe something happened to, again, your partner, romantic sense. It could be your business partner. It could be your roommate, whoever. Someone in your proximity could have experienced something that was really traumatic, that where they were attacked, or they feel that they had no defense and they just were made into a victim, and another person or some other situation. It could be a lot of drama around you, Libra. It could be what's going on here. And you're just having to be conscious of it. Like, you're being made aware of it. You might not want to be. You might very well be like, I'm over this, or I don't want to talk about this, or I don't even have a hand in this. Like, you could be a secondary or like a tertiary party. You could be a secondary or a third party to the situation. Like, you're like, I'm not even friends with this person. Like, we're not even close like that. But here I am hearing about it every day, or here this person is talking to me about this again and again and again, when they're giving me the details of what happened again and again and again. And you're just like, look, man, I'm just trying to be strong. I'm just trying to get into a new flavor in my life, a new path in my life. I'm just trying to move on. Get the hell out of here with your sob story. Not to say like you're not being compassionate, but the feeling, Libra, whether you're like primarily involved or secondary or tertiarily involved, and I don't even think that's a word, but whatever, no matter what level or how deeply involved you are in this situation, you really just want to be like, look, handle your stuff, because I gotta handle my own stuff. Okay? And in the case where this is not happening to you, but you're very close to the situation, I think you're having strength in the sense of someone is leaning on you. Someone is depending on you. Like, you're somebody's rock, Libra. So that could be why you need to be strong. That could be why you're having to kind of put your big boy or big girl pants on and get out there and be responsible and be diligent and all that kind of stuff, because someone else needs your help. And again, not to belittle anybody's experience as far as being a victim of a crime or a victim of some type of attack or abuse or anything like that. I'm not trying to minimize that. I'm not trying to say that's not a big deal, but it is calling on you to do something within yourself that you may not feel capable of doing, or at some point previous you may not have felt capable of being as strong as you're being called to be. You see what I mean? Like, your call to action is to be stronger. Your call to action is to help someone move through it, or you yourself move through it, or you and another person get together and you move through it. It really will apply differently since, again, it is a general reading. Are we going there yet? No, that's later. Okay, thank you. I mean, I figured, but thank you for the confirmation anyway. All right, so next we have the Empress, next to the Strength card. So Empress card is associated with you guys, Libra, and Taurus, since she is associated with Venus, and that's your ruling planet, as well as Tauruses. So this could be a shared energy of your own, or there might be a Taurus of significance in your life, but again, it doesn't have to be. It's really about the energy. And the Empress sits in her little garden. Is it a garden? It's more than a garden. I've never really noticed that. There's like a stream there. She's got like a stream. She's got like some forest back there. So she's like sitting in nature, point blank, right? And she is sort of the ruler of Mother Earth, or she is associated to, or she is believed to be Mother Earth herself, right? In some estimations. So this is about the luxury and the beauty of the natural world. The sustenance and the support of the natural world around you. The love, the care, the tenderness, all of that stuff that just comes naturally from the earth and naturally from all of the animals that populate the earth, right? So it's about sort of like a Garden of Eden kind of thing, you know? And the Empress would be... Like, I don't want to get all religious or anything like that, and I don't want to challenge anybody's religious beliefs, but, you know, in some estimations, I think, like, you know, if they say God created, you know, everything, and he created the Garden of Eden, I would say that the Empress was, like, the supervisor, or, like, the manager, or even the architect. Like, maybe she didn't build it, but she did, like, the blueprints. Like, you should have all of this. And God's like, cool, I'll buy your blueprints, and I'll call it the Garden of Eden. She's like, I want to call it the Garden of the Empress, but whatever. That's just a joke. But there's like this divine feeling associated with the Empress is the point I'm trying to make. There's divinity in this energy. So, Libra, I'm feeling that some of you are wanting to get in touch with nature, go out hiking, go out on trails, go kayaking, canoeing, go and swim in a lake. You know, some of you might have access to beaches and things like that. So some of you are wanting to get out in nature and like reconnect to the earth. Like literally, I need to touch the ground with a bare hand or a bare foot, or I need to lay myself down on a field of grass and just soak in the energy of the earth, which is very important for many people. Very, very important. So some of you might have that as a goal. That might be something that you're doing as Labor Day gets closer. You're planning like a little vacation getaway to a beach, or like I said, maybe you're going up into the mountains and hiking, whatever. You're planning to get in touch with nature, get in touch with Mother Earth, and revitalize yourself, get your strength via that connection. Others of you, this is a more sensual connection. This is more of a, I'm trying to get back into my luxury space. I'm trying to get back into my space of abundance and feeling like I'm on top, feeling like I'm a diva or a divo, whatever gender you are. You just want to feel sexy, and you want to feel like lusty and buoyant and buxom and just full of just nectar, sweet nectar. And I hate to take it to like this sexual romantic spin, but that's kind of what I'm feeling, is like, along with your strength, along with feeling as if you can conquer the world and as if you can step out onto a new path, you want to also feel as if, you know, you're looking pretty while you do it. And people are admiring you for how you look, or the way that you're carrying yourself, the new confidence that you have, the new plan of attack that you have. People are like, oh, Libra, look at you. Look how good you look. Oh, and that's what you're doing with your life? Yes, Libra, yes. Like, you want that. And the Empress isn't starved for that attention. She just gets it naturally. So I think that's what's going on. I think there's a divergence here, obviously, from what I said about the Strength card and what I said about these two cards, and now what I'm saying about the Empress. So there's a divergence going on here, which is typical with the signs that represent duality. You, Libra, Pisces, all those Is there another one? I think you guys are the 3. Is there another one that does a duality? Sag might have it a little bit, but not really. But you 3 primarily have the duality about you, right? You're the scales, you know, Gemini's the twins, and Pisces is represented by 2 fish chasing each other in a circle, right? So there's this always, in some way, very in the subconscious or in the subtext of your life, Libra, there's always, this is what's happening over here, and this is what's happening over here, and they don't really overlap. They kind of stay separate. So there is a part of your life that's very dramatic, very volatile, very traumatic. There's a lot of... What? The word they gave me was encrusted. So there's a lot of encrusted emotions, like hard emotions is, I think, what they want that to mean. Hard emotions, right? Hard circumstances, difficult situations, difficult relationships, like, I think I said like contentious or discontented, whatever. Hard, not easy. And then you've got this mellow, easy, cool, calm, collected, confident, brave, brazen, all of that here. 2 different worlds. So this could be 2 different sides of yourself or 2 different experiences that you're living. So again, this could be someone that you're dealing with who's close to you. Family, friend, spouse, partner, roommate, whoever. And they're down in the dumps. They're feeling all kinds of things about their situation and you're here. Or you're there and they're here. Whatever. You really have to apply it the way that you want to. But there is this sense of like a night and day situation going on. Or a night and day energy about this primary reading that we just did, okay? I hope that resonates with you. If it does, you know, let me know. Now, I think you guys got this last month, and if you've watched other videos, you'll know the triplet has been coming out fairly regularly. A little less this time around in August. I've had several where it was just my normal 6-card spread, but lucky you, Libra, you got a triplet. And the triplet, if you recall from your reading in July, I'm pretty sure you got one. The triplet is usually a separate energy. It's something that just came out in the July readings. I did things in April, May, and June, or maybe I missed May for some people. And it was normally 6 cards, but come July, triplet, triplet, triplet. So here you are, you have a triplet. And they're normally a separate energy. So without really asking, I know this is separate. I'm looking at it, I'm feeling it, it's separate. So that's your base storyline. That's probably what's going on in August. This is a past energy for some of you, and a current energy for some of you, like co-current with this is also this. But for a lot of you, this is a past energy. So what happened? Bad stuff happened. And I say that as a blanket statement. Bad as in, you really have to like apply the context, and you really have to, you know, not take that word at its face value, because you do have the Tower. So this is the quote-unquote bad thing that happened, right? The Tower scares a lot of people. It gives a lot of people pause. It makes them feel like, oh no, doom and gloom, and it's the worst thing that can happen to me. Maybe. It really depends on your perspective. It really depends on your headspace and how you feel about it and how you respond to it and all that stuff. But regardless, Libra, there was a dismantling of a certain situation in your life. There was something that was just like you, someone else, the universe, the rug just went right up from under it. And if you do that, unless like you're a really cool waiter, like on a cruise ship or something, when you pull like a tablecloth or something, or you yank a rug or some piece of cloth and there's something sitting on top, most of the time the thing that's sitting on top is going to fall. It's going to crumble, or at the very least, it's going to shift. It cannot, physics says it just can't remain in the same spot. It just can't. So if it doesn't fall completely to the ground, smash apart, you know, fall over and tumble to whatever, if it doesn't do that and it just shifts, the point is it has changed. So there was a significant change enacted by you, enacted by someone else, or enacted by the universe for you on your behalf. Regardless, that's what happened. For some, it was quite destructive. For some, it was like like it blew your life apart, or it blew the status quo apart. Not necessarily your life, but the status quo. So you could have gone through a breakup. You could have gone through losing a job, losing your home, or losing some other possession. Maybe you had your car repossessed, and based on having your car repossessed, you couldn't go to work. Like, you can only Uber so many times before, you know, you need to get on the bus. And maybe the bus doesn't work very well where you live. Maybe there is no public transportation where you live. And so having a car guarantees your independence. You lose your car, you lose your independence, your status quo has changed. Like I said, a breakup, in other cases a divorce, if it's like, you know, that could be, in some cases, some people might find a divorce is way more severe than a breakup. Again, contextualize it, apply it to your life as you need to. But this was quite significant, but necessary. And that's the thing about the Tower card that I think, even when I was like first initially getting into tarot, when I saw this, I was like, God, no, not the Tower. Now that I'm into it, I'm like, okay, fine, the Tower, let's go. What's it about? Because the Tower is all about the changes that are necessary, that move a situation or a person forward in the scheme of, or in the game of life, in the game of life, right? So where you may have been at a pit stop, or you may have been at a phase in your life, and you may have been there for a significant amount of time, or you needed to be there to experience a certain thing. Now, once that time is up, or once that experience has been obtained, or you've lived it, you need to move on. Not everything in life is meant, you're not meant to stay everywhere that you are in your life, whether that be a physical location, whether that be a relationship, whether that be a certain social status, a certain status in terms, like I said, of your independence, maybe even financially. Maybe some of you, you know, the Tower could be good in a lot of ways. Maybe, thank you. Maybe some of you had a job and it, you know, paid your bills, you were able to make ends meet and all that good stuff, but it wasn't really getting you anywhere. It wasn't lucrative. You weren't able to save. And so maybe you lost that job for whatever reason, and that was the Tower moment. But then that leads you into it drops you into this sort of panic mode, or this mode of, okay, well, I have to get a new job. I can't do unemployment. I can't go back to what I used to work. I can't go back to sales. I can't go back to working at the restaurant, whatever it is. So it forces you to move forward, and then you're able to get a better job, okay? So that's sort of like the underlying, but should be very prominent meaning of the Tower, is that it propels you to the next stage or phase of your life. It moves you forward, whether you want to or not, whether you recognize that you need to or not, it just does it. And it's usually, like I said, you could have enacted this, or someone else could have enacted it. And if that was the case, when people enact the Tower, it's usually very unconscious. You don't even know that you're creating a Tower moment. You don't know that someone dropped a Tower moment on you. Like you feel like it. You feel like they've turned your world upside down, but you don't also understand or realize that was also, in the grand scheme of things, what needed to happen. So I hope that made sense. Now, what does this concern? It concerns the Queen of Swords and the Three of Cups. So Queen of Swords, air sign, so it could be you, Libra, Gemini, or an Aquarius. But it's your reading, so it's probably you. And the Queen of Swords is very discerning. She's very decisive. She's very like a woman about her game plan, her mindset. She's very clear. She's very direct, all that good stuff. And it doesn't have to be female. This doesn't mean if you're a Libra male or you know a Libra male, it doesn't apply to him. Yes, it would. The gender is irrelevant. Now, this person, you or whoever else, Libra, this person is like, look, I have things I want in my life, and I know how I'm going to go about getting them. And she's an annexer, a word I've made up, or it might be a real word, I don't know. But she's an annexer. She is very precise with that sword. She's like a surgeon. Scalpel. Making her incisions, you know, like I said, annexing or doing, what do you call those? ectomies, or I don't know, but when you like cut off a piece of the body or tissue and then you suture it up or you stitch it up, and you know, it's like very precise. You remove the bit that is no longer any good. You remove the part that is blocking the flow of the blood in the artery or whatever the hell. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't watch medical TV shows. I have like very little knowledge of how all of that works. But you see my point. My point is this person, Queen of Swords, is that type of personality. I don't like this. I'm removing it. I don't like you. I'm removing you. I don't want to do that. I'm leaving. And I'm saying it quite directly and quite dismissively because that's her attitude too. I don't need to compromise. I don't need to negotiate. I don't need to be compassionate either. She's known to be a bitch, the Queen of Swords. She's a bitch. No offense to anybody, but she is a bitch. Okay, you get it? She is not known to be a kind-hearted person. Not to say, like, you or whoever this is just always this way. It's more about the energy and how it applies to this specific situation that involves the tower moment. Someone within the tower moment was cold-hearted. They were very precise in their division of a situation, or how they removed themselves, or how they removed another person, or whatever. It was very apt. It was very calculated. It was very decisive. It was very, well, no more of that. Okay? Whether or not that's good or bad, that's your decision to make. Whether or not that's fair, that's your decision to make. Okay? But it regards what the Queen of Swords wanted, because she's oriented towards this Three of Cups. So, if this is a relationship, the Queen of Swords basically was like, I don't want you, I want them. So she was a cheater. He or she. Again, it doesn't matter the gender, but I'm referring to the Queen as a she because of the card. But it could have been a man. It could have been a woman. It could have been anybody. But whoever this person is, they cheated. Or they had the intention to cheat if they never actually did. And I'm not one of these readers who, when I see the Three of Cups, I see the Three of Swords, I see the Three of anything, I'm not like, third-party situation. That's not normally what I get. But right here, right now, oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Because that's energetically what I feel. Part of the Three of Cups energy that's coming across right now is there was a commitment, there was a relationship, there was a marriage, and somebody was like, I don't know about this. I want that one over there too. So that can also happen with the Queen of Swords because she is an annexer and she does co-run the swords suit with the King of Swords. She can be a monopolizer. She can be somebody who is greedy. She can be somebody who is manipulative and wants to be satisfied and doesn't care. Like, possessive is also a word I'm getting, and just wanting more than what she might necessarily, quote-unquote, deserve or need to get by. So if this is like a business sense, this could be somebody who was skimming money from accounts. Not, the Queen of Swords is not always, but in general, usually when I encounter her, not in my life, but in a reading, she is a piece of work. She's nothing to tussle with. She is no one to mess around with. She is self-serving. She will do whatever she has to satisfy herself, to make sure that her needs are met. If there's someone close to her, maybe she'll consider those needs too, but it's really about her. She's a bitch, okay? So, like I said, if this is a relationship thing for you, Libra, somebody cheated. This is the past, and if it's not past, it's happening right now. So I'm not bursting any bubbles. If I am, I'm sorry, but I feel I'm not telling anyone here anything they don't know. So somebody is a cheater. If this is a relationship situation, whether they actually made it all the way out and stepped out and fell into somebody else's bed, no matter how far along that path this person went, the intention was there. I have a commitment, but screw my commitment. I'm going over here. Like I said, if it's a business partnership, it could have, somebody could be like stealing from the business, stealing from their partner in the business. They could be pocketing more of the profit or not reporting the profit correctly. They could be hiding a loss. It doesn't always have to be for a gain. It could be to save face, because she would be interested in saving face too, the Queen of Swords. She would prefer to gain, but if she knows she's losing, she's not going to like announce it to the world. We're in debt. Our account is in the red. She's not going to announce that. She's going to be like, everything's fine. And she would like delay the big reveal of the loss, I suppose. How else can this be? If this is like a friendship thing, this is kind of light. So maybe this would apply for a few of you. Or like a roommate situation. It could be like just socially, she's like annexing like certain people in her social circle. So maybe there's like a group of you, maybe you're on like a sports team or something like that, since we can talk about, with Three of Cups, we can talk about celebration. So maybe some of you are like, you know, regularly playing on like a company softball team or something like that. And this person will go from being really friendly with a bigger group of people and then being more friendly with like one or two people. Basically isolating. She's an isolator too. She ices people out. So she would go from being really open and cool with like, let's say 6 people to down to like 2 or 3 specific people. And then she would begin to like talk a lot of smack about the other people that she used to hang out with, or like totally ignoring them. Like totally ignoring them in social situations, or like totally ignoring like mention of them in conversation. Oh, Tammy didn't make it to the game. And this person's like, oh, she didn't? And then boom, move on to the next thing. Not even acknowledging that she and Tammy were once friends. Again, I'm saying she, but it doesn't have to be she. That could be a man doing that BS, okay? So that has happened. The whole cheating, the whole lying, the whole fake friend, frenemy kind of thing. That's happened. It's settled. You know about it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't, this reading isn't for you, or this portion of the reading isn't for you. But for those where this is resonating, I already told you what you already know. Now, why is that here? I think this is either relative to what's going on here, or both. Right? So someone is wanting to get the hell out of Dodge, get over that situation, move from feeling really like distraught and realizing the destruction, and get back to a more, like I said, a luxurious, feeling content with life, feeling happy and abundant, feeling strong, feeling confident, right? Someone is rebounding. This combination could be a rebounding situation, or a rebounding energy, excuse me. And another person is just wallowing in what happened here in the triplet. Someone is just like hanging on to this energy and they're not letting it go. Now again, Libra, you're a sign of duality. That could be you. All of this could have been about you. Just about every card here could be your position. If it is, again, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Or it's 2 different sides of yourself. Part of you is like, I want to get over this. I want to be confident. I want to be happy in my life again. I feel confident. I feel happy. And you're kind of faking it till you make it, giving yourself positive affirmations, giving yourself positive self-talk. That's great. I'm all on board for that. Another part of you is just like, oh no, what did I do? Or what happened to me? This was the most terrible thing ever. Oh, I'm such a victim. Again, not to minimize what happened, not to demean or patronize what happened, but that's sort of like the consciousness is, that's all you think about on some days, Libra. If this is your energy on both sides, right? Both sides of the scale, right? Now, what's going to happen? Is that how it's coming across? What's going to happen? What can happen, thank you, is in your outcome. And again, this is like the most I've ever done in a reading, in a general reading, for the public. So you're very special, Libra. So your outcome, what can happen in August, is a whole turnaround. Well, I shouldn't phrase it that way. It's a walk away that turns into a turnaround. Somebody walks away, 6 of Swords, right? Gets their stuff, gets packing, moves out, moves away from a situation, changes a mindset, changes of behavior, whatever it is. There's a change of location, a change of attitude, a change in position or status, whatever it is, that leads to a turnaround, the World card. So World card, quick mention, is associated with the fixed signs, so that's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So you might have a sign of any of those signs, or a person of any of those signs of significance around you, but it doesn't have to be. But regardless, the orientation of these two cards is very plain and simple. The Six of Swords is moving towards the World card. So some of you might be traveling, or someone you know might be traveling, Libra, in August. Like I said, you've got Labor Day coming up soon, so August, September-ish, right? So some people might be taking trips, taking vacations, needing to get away, to clear their mind, going back here, get in touch with nature, clear the mind, get a reset, get a redo, get a reboost, or is that a word? Reboost? I'm having such a problem with words today. But getting revitalized through nature, that's definitely on the docket for some of you. For others, it's just a vacation. It's like you're rewarding yourself from having to deal with all of this, or escaping, having a temporary escape from all of this. But on a deeper level, on a more spiritual level, right? This is about changing your fortune, or changing your position, or your perspective. There's trouble in the background of this card, or rather in the past of this card. The Six of Swords is about moving away from troublesome times, troublesome situations, troublesome people. And it's about escaping. You take what you can and you get the hell out of Dodge, right? And the orientation is to move towards the World card. The World card is about endings and beginnings. You close one chapter off and then you start anew. You close off one book and then you pick up a new book and you start reading a whole new adventure, a whole new phase of your life. So there's a sense of transition and transformation. If anything, the transformation would be mental, because again, we're talking about swords. I don't get a transformation of like a disposition or a great transformation of your physical self or your personality. I think Six of Swords is more about a mental transformation, mental, moving from a cloudy space, or like I said, a troublesome space, tumultuous space mentally, to a clearer, calmer space mentally, okay? But I think that comes, it's attached to this newness, this new chapter, this new phase that is associated with the World card. So in order to get over whatever's happened here, you or whoever this is going to resonate with in your life, Libra, they need to make a transition. Once that transition happens or gets off the ground, then the whole new phase happens. The potentiality is opened up. The opportunities are abound, right? A lot of movement away from, a lot of, like I said, here annexing, here destabilization, having things crumble and tumble to the ground. There is like this sense of big changes that are happening in August, but are linked to times previous. Overall energy for the month of August for you, Libra, is the Three of Wands. So again, potentiality. This guy, he's looking out over this yellow sea. So I guess it's like a water scene, like at dusk, right? But looking over at the sea, and there are 3 ships down there in the water. 3 ships are down there, and he's like, man, what's on those ships? And he's expecting. So these ships are coming into harbor, or in some cases, these ships are leaving harbor. So he's sent a package. In some cases, like, we're talking like old school stuff. He sent like a person, like his child or something off to like, go here, marry a girl, and then send for me. Like, that is kind of like the old school way that you might send something away with expectation, right? But regardless, that's the point of the card, expectation. It's like, what could be, wondering what could happen next, what will happen next, and having high hopes. High hopes? Semi-high hopes. Thank you. Semi-high hopes. Not the highest, because sometimes when you have such high hopes or high expectations, they kind of can become dreams, or they can kind of become phantoms. Like, they kind of lose their legs, they kind of lose their validity or their practicality. This is like a pretty practical expectation. It's not dreaming too big, it's not dreaming too small. It's just right, because there has been certain work put in place. There has been certain criteria that's been met that allows this guy on the card to dream, again, not too big, but not too small. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get this. I'm pretty sure my son's going to get over there. He's going to meet a good girl. He's going to marry. He's going to start up this business. And then in about 15 years, he's going to be able to send for me and my wife and our other kid, the daughter. And, you know, like, again, I hate to use that analogy, but that's kind of what they've given me in my mind. But you see what I mean? So, like, that's all practical. I sent my child out to provide for the family back home. That's not a dream. Like, it's not like I sent my kid out to get lottery scratchers and we won $5 million. No, that's not what happened. I sent my kid out to do a job, or to get married, to set up a business, do whatever, to immigrate to another country so that they can support us back home, because prospects here are no. We have no choice. There's no jobs to be had around here. There's no way to grow or support our family here. So I have to go through practical, sometimes monotonous, or sometimes very stifled or limiting means to get this dream to come to fruition, okay? And even behind then, you've got the Ten of Cups. So a lot of you, this is going to be a dream or a goal that talks about having a happy family dynamic, okay? So that is your reading for August, Libra. I do appreciate you guys watching. If you like what you saw, there's a like button down there. It looks like that. Go ahead and hit it. You can also comment on the video. Please share the video. That would be great. I'm trying to grow the channel. That would be awesome. And if you're not subscribed and you like what you saw and you think you might want to subscribe, you could do that too. There's a button down there that encourages you to do it. Also in the description box below, you'll find information on how to get personal readings with me. I would love to work with you if you want to work with me. Everything is pretty simple and laid out there, but if you do have any questions, feel free to email me, and I will get back to you about it. And I will be back in a few weeks' time, Libra, and I'm going to do your September reading at that time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Bye.